This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
An Indiana high school student kicked out of school for vaping. Now at 5 o'clock, why his parents say the school should have helped him instead of punishing him.
Fresh food is hard to find in parts of central Indiana. Working for you, we take this major concern to 3 Indianapolis mayoral candidates.
And work has stopped on a major construction project in Speedway. This morning, we're taking concerns to town leaders to find out what is behind that major delay. Time now is 5 o'clock on your Friday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is with us on this Friday, taking a look at our forecast. And if you felt the cold, saw some of the snow yesterday, it is sticking around, Todd.
You know, it was not pleasant last night. I was walking around a little bit, and I couldn't wait to get to my car and turn the heat on.
Yeah.
So kudos to all those trick-or-treaters that braved the elements. This morning, you're walking out to temperatures that are in the 20s anywhere you go. It's our first real hard freeze since earlier this year, back in the spring. Indianapolis now down to 25 degrees, as is Lafayette and Peru. It's 28 in Bloomington. We'll go into some northern locations here. 24 is the current temperature in Kokomo and Anderson. You're sitting at 27 degrees. So obviously a new air mass is in place. A couple freeze warnings out there this morning. They're all issued by the Weather Service out of Cincinnati, which includes some counties in eastern Indiana, such as Wayne counties, but the rest of central Indiana not under the advisory. But as I showed you, the temperatures are really chilly. Now the clouds have moved out, and so has the precipitation. Skies are clear, and that's the way it stays throughout the entire day. So while it's very cold here this morning, temperatures do moderate with lots of sunshine here throughout the day today to 39 degrees by the noon hour, 45 by the time we get to 4 p.m. Our normal high should be up in the upper 50s this time of year, so it is going to be below normal, but at least it's going to be a bright day, and we have no snow in the forecast. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Want to give you a look right now at our Traffic Now map. Right now on the roads, everything's pretty quiet, so that is good news. So let's look ahead to tonight, and that's when we have a construction project going into effect over here on the northeast side. I think this might change up your commute quite a bit over the weekend if it goes as scheduled. Northbound I-465, they will be closing that between 38th Street and 56th Street for some construction over the weekend. Set to go into effect at 10 o'clock tonight and wrap up Monday morning. So just keep that in mind. They'll be diverting traffic off onto the collector ramps through that area. Let's take a look right now down on the south side. Good morning to you here in Greenwood. This is a look at I-65 at the Main Street exit. Traffic here is traveling smoothly both northbound and southbound. No crashes or delays here in Johnson County to slow you down. Well, rain, it turned to snow yesterday afternoon with the plunging temperatures out there, and we want to make you aware of what's going on the roads right now. The Indiana Department of Transportation tells RTV6 that 25 yellow trucks will be out keeping an eye on things throughout your morning commute. INDOT says all of the bridge decks here in the Circle City have been pre-treated, so of course we're going to keep you updated if we find any other issues on the roadways this morning. So as you head out the doors, you want to make sure that you and your family are bundled up.
But as temperatures will continue to drop, the people who live on the streets need our help.
Our Kelsey Anderson joining us live this morning. And Kelsey, what can we do to help these men and women keep warm?
Well, Lauren and Meredith, IMPD officers say they need more warm clothes. That's just warm clothes, sweatshirts, long sleeve shirts, coats, hats, gloves, scarves, anything that they can give to the people in downtown Indy that are in need. Officer Pat McPherson is with the IMPD homeless unit, and he tells us they already started to hand out warm clothes to the homeless downtown. He says seeing a temperature drop like this so early in the year means they will go through their supply a lot sooner, and he's hoping you can help out.
We need everything but heavy gloves, heavy hats, scarves, and blankets just to keep folks warm.
McPherson says the wet and cold mixing together is a big issue because it could cause hypothermia for the folks who are downtown. Now, if you would like to donate anything that's warm clothing, like I said earlier, hats, gloves, scarves, coats, anything like that, you can drop it off at your closest IMPD station, or if you see an officer out and about, you can also give it to them. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. Health officials are urging people to come forward and seek treatment if they think they are getting sick from vaping. But one Indiana teenager says he did that and was punished.
He just asked me what happened, and I just told him the truth.
This morning, Keegan Hauk is expelled from Owen Valley High School in Spencer. He says last month he went to the school nurse for help after smoking from a friend's vape in the restroom and feeling sick. He was taken to the hospital and diagnosed with lung inflammation caused by vaping. Keegan's mother says the family is now dealing with the stress of the health aftermath and the expulsion.
We've been through enough. You know, he already went to the hospital. We've had this issue now. Now he's got ongoing, maybe, we don't know. We don't know what was in the vape, so ongoing condition. To know that now he's out of school.
Shannon Hauk has written an appeal letter trying to get her son back into school, but has been unsuccessful. The Spencer Owen Community School Superintendent says the district cannot comment on specific students, but there are rules related to vaping that led to the expulsion. And this morning, the Hoosier State continues to see new confirmed cases of lung illness linked to vaping. According to new numbers released just yesterday, the number of deaths have remained steady for now. The State Department of Health says the number of confirmed lung illnesses has climbed to 41 cases, up from 36 last week. Leaders and health experts say you should stop vaping until more is known about the products and about vaping-related illnesses.
At 5:06 now to Democracy 2019. With the municipal election less than 1 week away, RTV6 continues to bring you important issues, talk to the candidates for the mayor of Indianapolis, and bring you their thoughts. This morning, we are finding out their plans to help the people living in food deserts.
The City County Council passed in its budget for 2020 a considerable portion appropriation for working with community groups and neighborhood associations in terms of food access.
We need to show an urgency about the food desert. And there's no reason in the world the people at 38th and Post Road and the people at 29th and Martin Luther King should go without a grocery.
We really need to change the zoning laws to benefit everybody so that it's not used as a barrier for people to open their own business. It used to be very easy in this city to open a small business, such as a grocery store or a small retail.
Well, Election Day is set for next Tuesday, November 5th.
An Indianapolis man convicted of shooting and killing 2 people outside an East Side bar will likely spend the rest of his life in prison. A Marion County judge sentenced Jarek Whitley to 119 years behind bars for the deaths of Darren Gray and James Ratcliffe, along with the attempted murder of a security guard. The shooting happened last year outside the Sawmill Saloon on North Sherman Drive. Witnesses say it all started with a fight inside that spilled out into the street. Besides the murder sentence, Whitley is already serving a 35-year sentence for 2 unrelated cases involving robbery and drugs.
It is 5:07. Working for you now, a collapsed building out in Wayne County is being torn down after RTV6 started asking questions about the demolition. We first told you about this problem last week after a woman called RTV6 asking about the structure at the corner of Cumberland and Davis Streets in Dublin. She says it's been an eyesore and a safety hazard since July when it first collapsed. RTV6 talked to the owner of the building on Thursday. He says he's a disabled veteran and was living on the property and could not take care of the problem right away. Now that the work is underway, it is expected to take 3 to 4 days. And just days after Indigo riders asked RTV6 to get some answers about an unknown odor on a bus, the mystery is solved. Indigo says oil leaking onto the engine of the bus caused that suspicious smell. Mechanics have since fixed the problem, and passengers say the smell made them cough. One man even had trouble breathing. If you have a problem and you need some help getting your voice heard, you can contact us at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
A hotel project in Speedway appears to be stopped in its tracks. A new Hilton Tapestry hotel is partially built at the corner of 16th and Main. People tell RTV6 they have not seen any work at the site in months. When we first checked in on this project in August, the developer said they were working through design coordination and approvals. Drew Loftus of Loftus Robertson said full construction would start soon. Now, 2 months later, there is still no progress, and so other business owners like Marie Hall of Three Sisters and a Trunk say it's costing them.
We all gave a lot to have this built. The merchants here on Main Street gave up a lot of parking. People have learned to walk further to go to restaurants. Some people that used to enjoy our restaurants because they could park right outside or across the street are not coming now.
Our calls and emails to Loftus Robinson have not been returned. Speedway town leaders tell RTV6 they have reached out to the company about the work stoppage, but they have not heard back either.
At 5:09 this morning, state officials are suspending work requirements for low-income residents who receive their insurance through Medicaid. The stoppage comes as a federal lawsuit challenges the plan, and it's sorted out. Officials say they will not enforce the rules requiring those not qualifying for exemption after December 31st. A federal lawsuit was filed against the plan back in September. Courts have blocked the Trump administration from allowing similar work requirements in Arkansas and Kentucky. Here at 5:10, we do want to check in with Todd Clausen and our Friday forecast.
And Lauren, it's a Friday where you have to grab the heavy coat. It is chilly out there this morning as temperatures have dipped down into the 20s across the area, and we're going to stay in the 20s throughout the full duration of your morning commute here. Now, here's the good news, though. The skies are clear. We have gotten rid of all the snow. The wind has calmed down. And as I drove into work, though, I noticed on a lot of cars, especially if I haven't driven them since last night, there's a little bit of snow on the windshield, and that's frozen. And when I took my first step out onto my front steps, there was a little bit of ice. So just be careful this morning, even though there's no precipitation falling from the sky back off to the west. High pressure is in control. You can see nothing but clear skies, and that's the sunshine we'll enjoy throughout the day today. And with that sunshine, we'll eventually get temperatures into the mid to upper 40s across the area. Turns into a pleasant afternoon, even though we're a little bit below normal. We'll talk more about your weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Colleges will have some more time to fix accreditation issues. Just after the break, why education leaders say this change will help you in the long run.
Plus, there's new information this morning on just how bad the measles virus is for your body. Working for you, why officials say it's more important than ever to be vaccinated against the virus.
And here's a live look at your drive up on the north side this Friday morning. I-465 at Allisonville Road, where traffic is pretty quiet, traveling up to speed. Stick around. We'll have an update on some weekend road construction in my full traffic report. That's after the break. You're watching Good Morning Indiana.
Is from 4:30 to 7.
The Department of Education is changing the rules for schools in danger of losing its accreditation. The changes will take effect next summer. The new system gives schools 4 years to correct issues instead of 2. Accreditation agencies won't have to tell students about school issues anymore either. Betsy DeVos says the change will modernize the education system and help bring the cost down. Critics say the move just weakens accreditation standards.
A Keystone pipeline leak is contained this morning, and crews are hatching a cleanup plan. The leak spilled more than 380,000 gallons of crude oil in North Dakota this week. State environmental regulators estimate the size and say that the spill is impacting about a half acre of wetland. Now, leaders say that the spill does not affect drinking water in the area. Investigators are still trying to figure out how that leak happened.
The man accused of killing NBA star Lorenzen Wright was in court Thursday. Billy Turner's defense team was asking for more time to review evidence. That means the trial could start in January or February. His co-defendant, Cheryl Wright, pleaded guilty in July and is serving a 30-year sentence for the murder of the former Memphis Grizzlies player. Wright was last seen alive on July 18, 2010, when he left Cheryl Wright's home. The next day, police received a phone call from his cell phone, but it was interrupted by gunfire. Prosecutors say Turner conspired with Wright to murder the former NBA star for insurance money.
Several wildfires are still burning across California this morning, and the winds aren't expected to be as dangerous as they've been. 230,000 people are starting to go home to areas that they had to evacuate. Check out this video that shows someone running up to warn their neighbor about an incoming wildfire. The power is back on for most Californians. Utility companies are monitoring the conditions very closely. Now, the wintry mix of weather just north of here is proving to be dangerous for drivers, even first responders. A Milwaukee, Wisconsin police officer responding to an armed robbery at a convenience store hit a patch of ice. The squad car plowed into a gas pump and also struck a vehicle with people inside. This was just one of several weather-related accidents that were reported on the slippery roads. Fortunately, in this case, no one was injured, and the automatic gas shutoff was triggered, so there was no fire.
The system that brought snow to the Hoosier State is causing damage in North Carolina. This is what folks in Greensboro are left cleaning up. Severe storms knocked down numerous trees and took down power lines. The storms even prompted a few tornado warnings. Thankfully, so far, no injuries have been reported. All right, Todd, here at home on this Friday, people want to know what to expect after this forecast last night, that weather system that came through, if we can expect that this weekend.
No, it's a nice quiet weather pattern here as we go from today into the weekend. But yeah, it was a rough go of it. Wednesday, all that rain, and then yesterday, the rain, the snow, the wind, and the falling temperatures. And speaking of temperatures, look where we stand now, 25 degrees. This is the coldest it has been in Indianapolis since April 1st of earlier this year. So this is our first big push of winter-like air for this in a new fall season as we make our way now into the first day of November. 26 in Martinsville, 23 in Crawfordsville, 27 is the current temperature in Richmond. It's also 27 as you work your way down into the Bedford area. Now, the good news is Storm Team 6 radar is nice and quiet. Yesterday, we had the heavy rain for your morning commute, and then we were dealing with those snow showers throughout the course of the trick-or-treating hours, and that front is now raced all the way off to the east, so it's cleared New York, Washington, and Philadelphia. If your travel plans take you there this weekend, still a little windy there. There could be some flight delays, but nothing caused by precipitation, so that is the good news. So as we work our way throughout the day today, high pressure is firmly in control. That leaves us with lots of sunshine from start to finish. A little more in the way of cloud cover will build in as we work our way into the afternoon hours up to the north, but that is just about it. So we'll focus on the temperatures here this morning. You need the heavier coat, potentially maybe even need to grab the hat and the gloves here this morning, as temperatures will still be right around freezing at 10 a.m., then up to 35 degrees by the time we get to 11 a.m. And then we push into the 40s by 2 o'clock, and high temperatures today get up to about 45, 46 degrees later on this afternoon. If you have plans this evening, it's Friday night, you may be heading out. A lot of things going on across town this evening. Sunset is at 6:43, and as we work our way throughout the evening hours, just some high thin clouds, but temperatures will be in the 30s. So it's another cold evening for us across the area, and that'll set us up for decent weekend. Temperatures will still be running below normal as we work our way into the weekend. Tomorrow we start off right around 31 degrees, get the temperatures up into the low to mid 40s. Tomorrow, maybe a little more in the way of cloud cover, at least compared to Sunday when we get up to 48 degrees. Sunday, mostly sunny skies, but we start Sunday with temperatures in the 20s as well. So overall, it's a pretty quiet 7-day planning forecast. There could be a stray shower or two as we get into the day on Tuesday, but nothing major. It also warms up as we start next week with temperatures back in the 50s. And of course, do not forget to set your clocks back 1 hour Saturday night before you go to bed.
All right, great reminder there, Todd. And as you're heading out on the roads this weekend, we want to keep you in the know on all the construction projects that could slow you down or change up your commute. Here's a live look right now at I-65 near 38th Street here on the northwest side. Right now, everything's traveling up to speed, but over the weekend, you can expect delays because we'll have it down to one lane, both northbound and southbound here on I-65 on the northwest side from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. both Saturday and Sunday. So weekend slowdowns expected here to the northwest. Let's take a look, though, at our traffic now map. We're also having this closure here on the northeast side, northbound I-465 between 38th Street and 56th Street. Keep that in mind. They'll be diverting traffic onto the collector ramps in that area. Let's take a look right now to our northeast up in Fishers. Good morning to you. I-69 at 96th Street, where this Friday morning everything's traveling up to speed. A heads up, though, as you head out the door over the weekend. During the daytime Saturday, southbound I-69 will be restricted down to one lane. So give yourself extra time as you're heading out on the roads this weekend. A lot of construction happening around the metro area.
This morning, researchers say they have another reason everyone should get a measles vaccine. A new study says measles has a long-lasting impact on a person's immune system. The virus can debilitate the immune system for up to 5 years. Researchers tested 2 groups of kids. In the group that got the measles, kids lost up to 73% of helpful immune cells to the virus. In the group that got the shot, kids didn't lose any of those cells. Researchers say the results mean the virus could wipe out immunity to other illnesses a person develops.
At 5:21, Apple has unveiled a new program that lets Apple card holders finance iPhone purchases interest-free for 24 months. The company reportedly hopes to get customers who regularly upgrade their iPhones to finance those purchases through Apple rather than their phone service carrier. The Goldman Sachs Apple Card will also offer 3% back on products that are bought from that company.
The dress that Lady Gaga wore to this year's Golden Globes ended up in a hotel lost and found. After the break, how you can buy it yourself and how much you'll have to dish out.
Save at ChristmasGiftandHobbyShow.com.
Welcome back. Lady Gaga's 2019 Golden Globes dress is causing a bit of drama.
And it's not because of the 10-foot-long train. Gaga left her Valentino gown at a hotel in Beverly Hills after the awards show. A housekeeper says she found it and turned the dress into the lost and found. It sat there for months until September when the hotel gave it to the housekeeper as a gift. Well, that housekeeper is now auctioning the dress off, but questions have been raised over whether the dress was ever to the hotels to give away. Authorities say no crime was committed. The dress is expected to sell for up to $40,000. Here's the thing. I'm guessing that if Gaga wanted the dress, she would have taken it with her or had part of her entourage, go retrieve it the following day.
Yeah.
So, you know what?
For the housekeeper.
Exactly. That could mean college tuition for one of her kids or something like that. So I say go for it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Love it.
All right, grab the heavy coat this morning. You are definitely going to need it. I can guarantee that as you walk out the door. The skies are clear, so you don't have to worry about any precipitation this morning. That is the good news, but temperatures are in the 20s. They stay in the 20s throughout the entire duration of your morning drive, but once the sun comes up, we'll have plenty of sunshine throughout both the morning hours and into the afternoon. Highs around 45 in Peru, closer to 50 in Bloomington, as well as Columbus. Look for a temperature to top off today, right around 46 degrees in Indy.
Todd, thank you. It's no secret that the opioid crisis is impacting hundreds of Hoosier families. Ahead on Good Morning Indiana, how the Indiana State Museum is doing its part to bring the issue to light.
Today at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 5:30 on Good Morning Indiana, an early dose of winter has IMPD's homeless unit preparing for a busy next few months. How you can help those in need.
And in the opioid crisis, it's impacting hundreds of Hoosier families. What the Indiana State Museum is doing to bring those issues to light. But first, before we get to those top stories here on our Friday, we got to find out what's going on outside.
Yeah, Todd, trick-or-treating last night was not ideal. I mean, I think we could go out on a limb and say it was miserable for some with the snow and the wind and all of that. Is that what we can expect this weekend, too?
No, it's going to be a great weekend. Just a little bit below normal temperature-wise, but we'll have plenty of sunshine in the forecast. In fact, you get the sunshine back today, so we'll reintroduce the sunglasses. You can put those away, I guess, for 2 days. You can use them once again today, but you definitely need to have the heavier jacket handy here throughout the course of not only this morning, but the entire day. Your outdoor workout is good to go. Just be a little bit careful if you're running on some sidewalks, as a little leftover moisture could have frozen overnight, and there could be a little bit of ice out there in places. 25 in Lafayette and Indy, 28 in Bloomington to the north. Logansport 27, 24, one of the cooler spots in Kokomo this morning. So these are the coolest temperatures since last spring. So you have to go all the way back to April to find temperatures in the 20s here, at least in Indianapolis. So the skies are clear once the sun comes up. Plenty of sunshine from start to finish throughout the day today. And with those sunny skies, we'll see the temperatures climb close to 40 degrees by the noon hour. With high temperatures today, that will be in the mid-40s. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on traffic as you're heading out the door to kick off your Friday. Here's a live look at I-465 at Fall Creek Road here on the northeast side of town. And this morning, everything looks to be traveling smoothly, so it's great news as you're heading out the door. A heads up over the weekend here during the day on Saturday and even late tonight, we're going to have these lanes closed northbound between 38th Street and 56th Street for construction, scheduled to reopen actually Monday morning. So we'll be looking at that project over the weekend. But right now, let's take a look at some other construction projects we have coming up. Some ramp closures you can expect. Northbound, southbound Keystone Avenue to westbound I-465 set to close tonight at 9 p.m. Reopen Monday morning. So a heads up to that. We also have ramps closing eastbound I-465 to Meridian Street and northbound, southbound US 31 here to westbound I-465. So if you're traveling on the north side, expect some changes there to ramp closures starting tonight at 9 p.m. Let's take a look right now closer to the downtown area, I-65 at West Street and MLK, where traffic is moving along just fine for your Friday morning. Again, we'll keep you updated on what you can expect out there this morning and looking ahead to your weekend. But as you're heading out the door this morning, you're going to want to make sure that you and your kids are bundled up.
As temperatures will continue to drop, the people who live on the streets, the homeless, they need our help. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning. Kelsey, what can we do to help keep these men and women warm?
well, what we can do, and IMPDA says they need more donations. They need warm clothes that they can give out to people who are in downtown Indianapolis who don't have shelter. He says they need coats, they need hats, they need gloves, they need scarves, anything that you don't need right now that can keep these folks warm. So Officer Pat McPherson is with the IMPD homeless unit, and he tells us they have already started to hand out warm clothes to the homeless downtown. He says seeing a temperature drop like this so early in the year means they will go through their supply a lot sooner, and he's hoping you can help out. He says all the officers are carrying warm clothes in their cars to hand out to people in need as temperatures start to reach dangerous conditions.
With the cold and the wet, you're dealing with hypothermia and some different things.
Again, McPherson says they need everything from heavy gloves, hats, scarves, and even blankets. Now, if you would like to donate, you can go to your closest IMPD station, or if you see an officer out and about, you can give them clothes as they are carrying them in their cars. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. A woman in western Indiana was found dead with an 8-foot python wrapped around her neck, and today we could find out exactly how she died. An autopsy is scheduled for 36-year-old Laura Hurst in Benton County. She was found dead Wednesday night at a home in Oxford. State police say the house is specifically set up as a place to keep snakes. We're told there were about 140 snakes in the home, 20 of which belong to Hurst.
2 people have been arrested in connection to the murder of an 18-year-old on the city's south side. Nathan Henry was found stabbed to death at an apartment complex near South Madison Avenue and East Southport Road last Friday. Police say this stabbing happened during a drug sale and robbery attempt. 18-year-old Antonio Carter and 17-year-old Daniel Crockett are charged with murder and robbery. Both are expected to be in court today.
Teen mom OG star Amber Portwood has been sentenced to probation as part of her plea agreement for a fight earlier this year in Indianapolis. Portwood is accused of attacking her live-in boyfriend with a machete and a shoe on the 4th of July. She is sentenced to 2.5 years of probation and must go to 26 weeks of court-ordered parenting classes and can have no contact with the victim.
At 5:35 new this morning, Marion County has been chosen to participate in the Transforming Juvenile Probation Certificate Program. Now, the goal of this program is to help law enforcement and government officials rethink their approach to juvenile probation. The teams will develop strategies to shift the focus from surveillance and punishment to promoting positive behavior change and long-term success for youth. Several Indiana judges and attorneys will attend, along with Deputy Chief Probation Officer Kay Knorr and Probation Supervisor Leon Keith.
A new exhibit at the Indiana State Museum is addressing the nation's opioid crisis. The Fix exhibit has been in the works for more than 2 years. Visitors walk through the interactive display, learning about the science behind opioid abuse disorder, hearing personal stories, and learning about recovery efforts. The exhibit also looks to engage younger visitors to help prevent opioid use. It's designed for people ages 9 and older and will be open on February 1st.
It's 5:36. The University of Notre Dame is delaying its plan to cover up some controversial murals. The 19th century paintings depict Christopher Columbus in America, and it's been criticized for the stereotypical images of Native Americans and blacks. Student, staff, and alumni signed a petition back in 2017 to have these murals removed. In January, Notre Dame announced that it would conceal the artwork. They expect to have it complete by 2022.
On Tuesday, voters in a handful of school districts will be deciding on money requests from school districts. Carmel residents will be voting on a school safety referendum that could raise as much as $40 million for Carmel Clay schools. The request comes after state lawmakers allowed schools to seek safety referendums just this year. The owners of a home worth $250,000 would pay an additional $65 per year if the referendum passes. The tax increase would be in effect for the next 8 years. And here's a closer look at what Carmel Clay Schools wants to spend that money on. At least one school resource officer in every school in the district, mental health programming for students, and professional safety training for teachers, staff, and administrators.
Schools across Indiana will be able to serve more fresh local food to the students and staff, and it's all thanks to a new statewide program. A buyer's guide will provide school districts with a directory of products grown or raised by local farmers. Advocates say the guide is part of a push to create more farm-to-school opportunities.
We look at the school lunchroom as the state's biggest restaurant. And the one commonality between any student that walks in any door of any school, public or private, is they all have to eat. And the better the food is at their school, the more they will eat there.
The new program was introduced at Franklin Community High School yesterday. It's a partnership between Purdue Extension, the Department of Health, and the group Indiana Grown. So right now, as the kiddos are heading out to the bus stop on this Friday, Todd, they're going to want to bundle up.
Yeah, you're going to probably have to break out the hat and the gloves probably for the first time this season. You may have broken out the light gloves at some point, but you need the heavy ones here this morning as temperatures are down into the 20s with mainly clear skies and wind chill values this morning that are down in the teens. Now, the wind has come down from where it was yesterday. That is the good news, but still with temperatures in the 20s, just a little bit of a breeze factors in those wind chills in the teens. As the kids come home from school today, 46 degrees with mostly sunny skies. High school playoffs continue this evening all across central Indiana and across the state for that matter. If you're heading to any of these games, temperatures are going to start off in the low 40s and in the 30s though, so you definitely want to have the jacket handy this evening, the blanket as well as you sit in those stands. The good thing is though, you do not need the umbrella as skies will be completely clear.
Todd, thank you. Evacuees are now being able to return to what's left of their homes as California wildfires continue to burn. Coming up, the latest on the efforts to stop these flames.
And the FAA is lifting a restriction against pilots with diabetes. Still ahead, why they are now able to make that change.
And here at 539, we're keeping a close eye on your morning commute. This is I-70 and Arlington Avenue on the east side, where traffic's moving along just fine, both eastbound and westbound. No crashes to report right now on the east side for your commute. We'll be right back after this short break.
Cold and flu, all in one.
It is 5:43 on your Friday morning. I want to thank you for joining us here on Good Morning Indiana. Here is a live look at your commute right now down on the south side of town. I-65 and I-465 where everything is traveling up to speed. Traffic is picking up this morning. We'll keep a close eye on it for your morning commute.
A 7-year-old girl is in critical condition after being shot while trick-or-treating in Chicago. The girl was with her family Halloween night when it happened. Police say a group of men chasing another man began shooting in the area. During the gunfire, the bullet hit the girl in the chest. Police are still searching for the people responsible.
Penn State University is investigating a new allegation of abuse by former assistant football coach Jerry Sandusky. Sandusky was previously convicted in 2012 for abusing 10 boys and was scheduled to at least 30 years in prison. A university spokesperson says an incident report filed to police describes a victim being sexually assaulted between June of 2000 and September of 2010. The report lists 2 counts of rape and other sex offenses at the football building. Sandusky's attorney says that he denies anything happened.
The Ultimate Fighting Championship is offering thousands of dollars to help find a missing woman. It is posting a $25,000 reward for any information about the disappearance of Anaya Blanchard. She is the stepdaughter of UFC fighter Walt Harris. The 19-year-old has been missing for a week now. Authorities found her car in Montgomery, Alabama, and say forensic evidence found inside indicates that she was harmed. Blanchard is a student at Southern Union Estate Community College in East Alabama. Authorities say her disappearance is being treated as a criminal investigation. The state of Alabama is also offering a $5,000 reward.
At 5:44 this morning, several wildfires are still burning across California, but thousands of people are starting to return to their homes after being forced to evacuate. Crews made some headway yesterday as those winds slightly died down. Evacuees like Matthew Valdivia were able to return to their homes, not sure of what would be there when they got back.
It's devastating. Our fireplace where we had our first Christmas and our Thanksgiving, and it sucks, man.
Well, the power is coming back on for most Californians as utility companies monitor conditions closely. Officials are warning that powerful winds and other dangerous conditions could spark new fires at any time. Back here at home, we do want to get a check of our Friday forecast and look ahead to the weekend with Todd.
And finally, after what was a very active middle half of the week, Lauren, we're finally entering a nice quiet weather pattern, and it times out well for us that it is Friday and we are heading into the weekend. There's just one little small chance of maybe a few sprinkles in the forecast tomorrow. I'll show you that in just a second. But the overnight hours, including this morning, are going to be very chilly as temperatures will be falling below freezing and no real significant rain and or snow, I guess you could say, since we've already had now seen some snow, officially a trace at the airport yesterday in our forecast until Tuesday. But look at this temperature, 25 degrees as you walk out the door. Winds are out of the southwest at 7 miles per hour, so they've calmed a lot since last night when they were gusting into that 30 to 40 mile per hour range. But but look at these temperatures. 20s anywhere you go to start off your Friday. 24 in Crawfordsville, 28 in Bloomington, 26 is the current temperature as you make your way into the Greenfield area. Factor in that 7-mile-per-hour wind, and we're still factoring in a wind chill value of 17 in Indy. Feels as cool as 15 degrees right now up in the Peru area. So it's a very, very cold start. You have to have the heavy coat, the jacket as you walk out the door. Many of you may have the scarf as well wrapped around your neck, and temperatures will moderate with the sunshine once they come up. About 39 degrees by time you get to the noon hour, mid-40s though as we work our way into the 4 o'clock hour with plenty of sunshine. Then if you have plans this evening, you are going to be in a fine shape. You just need to bundle up as temperatures fall into the 30s. So here are the clear skies. There's not a whole lot going on. There's this weak little front though off to our west, and that's something we'll have to keep an eye on for tomorrow. So as we quickly go through TrueCast for the day today, not a whole lot happens. Mostly sunny skies. Late in the evening hours, some clouds will start to drift in from the north. But tomorrow morning, that front will slide through the area. As it comes through, it's not out of the question there could be a very, very brief period of maybe some rain and or snow shower activity. Doesn't last long if you see it. And then throughout the day, mostly cloudy skies. And again, the chance of a sprinkle or two, but nothing that's going to cancel any plans. IU is home in the evening hours. Purdue is home as well, up against Nebraska for the noon start. And those games shouldn't be impacted much at all by that slight shower chance. Saturday, 44 degrees. As we get into Sunday, it's probably the better day of the weekend simply because it's a little bit warmer with a temperature of 49 degrees and probably a little more in the way of sunshine. But again, don't let that spot shower chance for Saturday hamper any plans. Make sure you turn the clocks back 1 hour Saturday night into Sunday morning. A good reminder also to change those batteries and the smoke detectors in your home. And then temperatures will be in the 50s for Monday and Tuesday, with that next best shower chance arriving in the forecast Tuesday afternoon. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Right now on your roads around the metro area, everything is traveling up to speed. No crashes to slow you down, so that is good news. Want to make you aware of something you may run into over the weekend. This closure is set to go into effect on Friday tonight at 10 p.m. lasts through Monday morning at 6 a.m. They will be closing the northbound lanes of I-465 between 38th Street and 56th Street for some construction over the weekend. So this could really change up your commute. They are diverting traffic onto collector lanes in that area. We'll continue to monitor that, but let's take a live look outside right now at I-465 and East 56th Street, where everything is open and everything's traveling up to speed there on the northeast side. We'll continue to keep you updated on your traffic this morning and look ahead to your weekend.
Police in Australia seized $200 million worth of methamphetamine hidden inside bottles of hot sauce. The meth was found in sriracha sauce containers being shipped from the United States to Sydney. Police have arrested 4 people for the alleged smuggling, but the investigation continues to find other people linked to the operation. Now, this is not the first time smugglers have tried to sneak drugs into surprising objects. In the past, police have seized drugs hidden in snow globes, coconuts, and stereo speakers.
The Federal Aviation Administration is now going to allow pilots with insulin-treated diabetes to fly commercial airplanes. The FAA is expected to announce this change as soon as next week. It will let insulin-dependent diabetics apply for a medical license that you need in order to be a commercial pilot. Those pilots are currently only allowed to fly private flights. The FAA says the advances in treatment of diabetes have minimized the risk of severe low blood sugar episodes. Countries like the UK and Canada already let insulin-dependent pilots fly commercial flights.
McDonald's is planning to add a new protein to its breakfast menu next year. According to Business Insider, the fast food chain is featuring a new chicken dish in January. Some McDonald's locations have marketed some chicken items already, but there's no word yet on exactly what that new dish might be.
Well, is it Pete Buttigieg or Brad Stevens? After the break, what the presidential candidate and the NBA coach did on social media to celebrate Halloween.
And the weather caused some trick-or-treating in central Indiana to be postponed. You can find those new days and times right now on the RTV6 app. We'll be right back.
Every $50 spent today only at Kohl's.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 5:53 on your Friday, and as you're heading out the door to kick off your end of your work week, I want to keep you updated on the roads. No problems right now in the downtown area. I-65 and I-70 at the north split. As you can see, traffic's traveling up to speed.
One is running for president and the other working for an NBA championship, but it can be hard to tell them apart. South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg and Boston Celtics head coach Brad Stevens decided to play along with the doppelganger jokes by dressing up for Halloween. Buttigieg's Twitter account posted game on with this picture of Pete wearing a sport coat and a Celtics hat. A couple of hours later, the former Butler coach's wife Tracy Stevens posted back her picture showing Brad in typical Buttigieg attire with his sleeves rolled up.
That's pretty good, I would say. Well, the Governor Holcomb, was also in the spirit of Halloween last night. Take a look at this. He transformed the Indiana governor's mansion into Jurassic Park. Governor Eric Holcomb and First Lady Janet dressed as archaeologists, and those inflatable dinosaurs roamed in the front of the governor's residence. The Jurassic Park theme music even played for trick-or-treaters. The Holcombs handed out free state park passes to the kids and, of course, candy.
I'm sorry, but where is Henry?
I know, he's the most important member. I saw some pictures on his Instagram when he was dressed up too. It looked like he was also.
Was he a little dinosaur?
No,
or
a little like archaeologist it looked like.
Cute.
So,
all right, I'll have to go check that out.
Check that out.
Well, anyone out last night was certainly bundled up. It was cold and windy out there, Todd.
Yeah, you could see the heaters that they had going there at the governor's mansion, and you needed that, and you needed to bundle up. Yeah, it was brutal last night with the wind and the rain and the snow. This morning, you see on both sides of me, temperatures anywhere you are in the 20s. So it's a very, very cold start to the day, but the good news is the wind has calmed across the area, and we've gotten rid of all the precipitation. So while you definitely need to really bundle up here this morning, it turns into a decent afternoon with sunny skies from start to finish, and our high temperature eventually today will get up to right around 46 degrees, and we'll continue this nice weather into your weekend as well. Gives you an opportunity to get out and about and enjoy the fall festivities. More on that forecast coming up in the next half hour.
Todd, thank you. A student seeking help from a school nurse after getting sick from vaping is expelled. Coming up in the next half hour, what his family is saying about the punishment.
And construction crews are working to finish projects before the winter settles in, where you can expect road work to be underway over the weekend.
And we are taking a look right now from the IMS Pagoda. Boy, it's hard to think about how far May is away with the temperatures that we have this morning. It is 24 degrees here in downtown Indianapolis. Time is 5:56. We've got a lot more coming up here after the break. We hope you stick with us.